Hello, what's up, traders? In yesterday's video, we were analyzing potential scenarios for Bitcoin, and one of the key possibilities we discussed was a push higher towards the average gain level. This would hinge on whether the bullish CVD absorption starts to play out. Ideally, we would want to see Bitcoin range and close near the average, which could increase the chances of a further move into the order block. At that point, we would be looking for signs of either weakness or strength, with the potential for a reclaim of the level or even a backtest of it, along with the monthly open. Now, as things turned out, Bitcoin did manage to push higher. It held the higher low and continued to form a series of higher highs and higher lows, which brings us to the current price point. From here, there are both bullish and bearish possibilities, so let's dive into them. With that said, welcome to the rabbit hole, and let's take a closer look at the local structure. At this moment, Bitcoin is stuck in a tricky spot within the 12-hour order block. It bounced from our confluence area, even though not all levels were touched. Specifically, we saw price respecting the yearly golden zone fibs while making higher lows and higher highs. However, despite this bullish price structure, Bitcoin is still in resistance, and this is where I like to call it the Schrödinger's cat moment, simultaneously at a resistance level, but with the bullish structure still intact. It's like the cat is both alive and dead until it reveals itself. For now, I have only one level I'm really interested in, and that's the low time frame order block, which aligns with the 4-hour swing low, the average loss for today, and the weekly 50% wick level. Also, there's a naked point of control sitting right there. Best case scenario would be seeing some nice CVD absorption at this level. Without taking out some significant highs or lows, I don't see a clear setup here because my stop loss would be too far away. So I'm opting to wait for now. Personally, I'm waiting for an opportunity to get involved on the next retest of a significant level or wherever the next higher low gets formed. Should the cat reveal itself as a bear, then I'll switch to the bearish scenario and aim to participate accordingly. At the moment, I'm keeping an eye on how the price reacts to these key levels. One important note before we continue, even though I see price approaching key support or resistance levels, I'm not interested in taking a YOLO trade. I don't need to catch the exact high or low of the move. What I'm more focused on is seeing some form of confirmation and, most importantly, a clear invalidation level for the trade. Yes, this means sometimes you might enter a trade later or even face a losing trade if your idea is invalidated, but that's part of the game. Invalidation of one idea usually opens the door to other opportunities. This is just one of the strategies I use. While I have different types of strategies, none of them rely on gambling without a plan. But that's a topic for another day. Now, let's go over today's statistics and levels. Mondays, historically speaking for 2024, have shown a higher probability of closing positive, with a 60% chance. The average gain on positive Mondays has been 3.38%, which would take Bitcoin up to around 65K and push it above the current order block. On the flip side, in the 40% of instances where Bitcoin closed negatively on a Monday, the average loss was 2.31%, which would bring BTC down to about 61,300, taking us below the order block into the weekend lows. Next, let's examine the key pivot points in the current structure, and where Bitcoin might either maintain its bullishness or invalidate it by breaking down. The key 4-hour swing low sits at 61,670, which aligns with the weekend lows, while the 1-hour swing low is slightly higher at 62,261. To keep the bullish structure intact, Bitcoin needs to hold above these levels. There's no problem if price comes down to retest or even sweep these lows, as long as it manages to reclaim the structure. However, if Bitcoin loses these levels, the next step would be to test the higher timeframe structure, where we would once again be watching for signs of strength or weakness. Patience is essential here. You need to wait for the right signs to enter a trade, either a higher low indicating strength, or signs of weakness like losing the structure points we just discussed. Now, let's talk about the levels where we might find confluence and potential setups. As mentioned earlier, I'm focusing on the low time frame order block with confluence from multiple areas, the 4-hour swing low, the average loss for today, the weekly 50% wick level, and the NPC. This zone offers the best potential for a setup if we also see some CVD absorption here. If Bitcoin doesn't take out some significant highs or lows around this area, there's no real setup, and I'll be waiting for more data to come in. If a Monday range forms, I'll be looking for trades based on that. Ideally, we'll see a sweep of the range, a move back inside, and a show of strength, perhaps sweeping the lows right into our point of interest. Alternatively, if Bitcoin pushes higher and turns the current order block into a breaker, then I'll be looking for a bullish setup there as well. Another possible scenario is if Bitcoin first moves up to take out the high again, which would raise the 1-hour and 4-hour swing low pivots. By breaking structure at the highs, I would also look for some possible setups. Until then, there could be opportunities on the lower time frames for those interested, but for now, I'm opting to wait for more clarity. Lastly, let's zoom out and take a look at the weekly and monthly time frames. For the bulls to gain more confidence, we need to see a higher high form on the weekly. This would be a great sign of strength and a step toward the bullish move we've been anticipating based on the monthly statistics. A higher high would indicate that Bitcoin has likely finished forming its monthly wick, potentially setting the stage for a breakout. Of course, Bitcoin could still range, take out all the lows, or even dump to zero, but that would give us new data to work with. So far, the step-by-step strategy has been working well. Let's see what happens on Monday and whether any key levels get hit. Stay safe, have patience, and I'll see you in the next one.